Albert Awol, the voice of the jungle, broadcasting on the DVC to all points unknown. If you're within the sound of my voice, you're listening to Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Hello and welcome home. Thank you for joining us on episode 222 of Welcome Home, a Disney Parks and Vacation Club podcast. I'm Tom. I'm here with Trevor. We've got no Damon this week. Damon is either on his way to Florida or already there. I don't remember. But he's out, right?
He's at Disney, or he's in proximity to Disney.
Yeah, he's somewhere, either on the way or already there. But we'll definitely hear from him next week. So for this week, we decided to bring in a special guest host who has been on the show, but it's been a while. I'm trying to remember the last time you were here, Becky. But we have Becky, who is not only our listener, but a podcaster herself. So, right?
Hi, guys. Yeah. I mean, upon occasion, sure. No, we do. We release a show every Friday most of the year. But, sometimes summer. Yeah. Sometimes people need a break. So.
What is that like? We never get breaks. What?
we took a break, remember? We took that one break.
We did, yeah.
We just took a break.
Well, yeah, I mean, but we still did 2 shows. We still pumped out the shows,
Yep, and we put a few, we are more topic-based that we kind of come up with on our own, and so we'll do 2 or 3 a night and record every other week or so, and then we don't, sometimes.
Well, I was just saying that we had to remember how to do this since we did just take 2 weeks off. I hope everybody enjoyed the waitlist episodes because we had kind of a blast doing those 2. I think those were 2 of my favorite waitlists we've ever done, honestly.
Oh, they were great. I was, coming up with all these ideas, and then my husband, he'll ask me questions, and I'm like, "We just had a show on this," and I'm not on your show. But in my head, I'm like,
"Well, you're on your show right now. You're on our show right
now." True. Yeah, but I was like, well, there's some opinions, and I start explaining things you guys came up with, and he's like, those are great.
We did have some. I hate to toot our own horns, but I was like, we had some good ideas. I feel like in there, so
yeah,
absolutely.
It was very in the moment, right? Yeah. Like it's hard sometimes with those waitlists. I'll admit, when we do them, I'm like half the time I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. And then it's like when we start talking, it just
happens. Yeah.
Happens. Yeah. And it's
we don't prepare. We don't prepare at all for those things usually. Yeah.
It's better if we don't, actually.
It's more organic. It's perfect.
Yeah. Way better if we don't prepare. I'll think of ideas just here and there, just thinking on a daily basis. But once we start talking about stuff, it brings up ideas, just because Damon will bring up an idea and I'll be like, oh, that will trigger an idea in me. It's way better that we don't do it beforehand. So, but I wanted to, so we were gone for 2 weeks and primarily because I was gone for 2 weeks. But, and I was, not that I'm going to do a trip report because I didn't go to Disney. I'm not going to do a trip report of driving to Pittsburgh on Memorial Day weekend. I will say though, and this is only going to probably resonate. What I'm about to say is only going to resonate with a certain group of people, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. So one of the places I went to on the way back from my second trip, I drove through rural Pennsylvania, and I decided I realized that on my way back, I was driving from Pennsylvania, just over the border of Pennsylvania into New Jersey, back to Washington, D.C. And on the way, I was like, I'm kind of going to drive by Hershey, Pennsylvania. And I don't know, like I said, I don't know how many people know about Hershey Park and all that. But I decided to stop on the way at Hershey because they have a place called Chocolate World. Now, I don't know, Trevor and Becky, if you are familiar with Chocolate World.
Not specifically. I know of Hershey Park.
Okay.
I've heard of Hershey. Yeah, that's where it ends.
All right. So outside of Hershey Park is a place called Chocolate World, which is still Hershey, right? And they have a Disney-esque dark ride in Chocolate World. It's free, right? So this, parking's free. You just go. So every time my wife and I lived in Pennsylvania for a little while, and every time we drive home to New Jersey, we would drive through Hershey and we would stop at Chocolate World because it's completely free, right? And so they have this Disney. It's an Omnimover ride. It's literally an Omnimover. It actually kind of looks like Figment, right? But it's an Omni mover. It has a giant wheel and it's constantly moving. And you get in the car, and they have animatronics too, like, you know, basic ones, not like Disney level animatronics, right? Like, you know, basic things. But like it's a chocolate factory tour, so they take you through how they make chocolate, right? So, which is cool. It's super fun and nostalgic for me because as a kid I always did this. I probably haven't been there in 10 years or so, right? But like, I mean, they've got little animatronics, but they show you like the whole chocolate making process. At the end, you get off the ride and they give you a free piece of chocolate, right? So like, I go just for that, right? Yeah. Oh yeah, totally.
I mean, I'm picturing a cross between Showbiz Pizza and Living with the Land. I don't really know.
Listen, Google Chocolate World's tour. You'll find it. It's very well done. It's like, it's not like, It's
I love Living with the Land, to be clear. So.
No, I do too. But no,
I'm stuck on Willy Wonka for some reason.
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah. I mean, I actually, it's funny because I found myself as I was going through it. You know, when I was younger, they have like a fake machinery there, like showing you how they make the chocolate, and it used to be like moving sets and stuff, right? But since then, they've done a very Universal Disney-esque switch to like projections. So now it's like, instead of like moving like prop pieces, it's just projections, which is fine. But like, you know, it was cooler when I was younger.
It's cheaper to maintain.
Yeah, exactly. I get it, right? But I'm serious. Like, go on YouTube, look up Chocolate World Tour, and you will find, I'm sure, a video of the Chocolate World Tour. It's like I said, it's very nostalgic for me. They have a big thing. They have there's cows in the beginning that sing a little song about making chocolate. Like it's so. I mean, there's anybody that's from the Northeast is going to know exactly what I'm talking about because they've done this, right? But like, if they're not from the Northeast of the United States, they probably have no idea what I'm talking about. But like I said, go Google Chocolate World, and then so the rest of Chocolate World, it's a giant chocolate store. It's like literally this giant store with every single product that Hershey makes, and then some stuff you can only buy there, and then all sorts of random merch and stuff. Like I bought a Jolly Rancher scented candle, like, you know.
what flavor, what scent?
I think it's like a raspberry. I think it's like it's like a raspberry. You could also buy chocolate scented candles though too, which I decided to go with the Jolly Rancher. My wife likes Jolly Ranchers, so but like they also have candy bars too that like you can't buy anywhere else, like certain flavors. So yeah, it's a really cool place. It's like, and it's like I said, it's free, but of course they expect you to go out into the store and buy things. It's very Disney-esque that you get off the ride right into the giant gift shop, you know.
It sounds amazing. Actually,
it is. It really is. And I will argue to this day that the chocolate you get there tastes better than any other chocolate because it's fresh, right? Like it's like they make chocolate in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and so it's like it tastes fresher in a weird way. So
I can see that. I mean, you know, like good recently made chocolate versus chocolate that's been sitting for a while. So yeah, I can believe that.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, but if you haven't Googled Chocolate World, and I know we'll be getting some comments in the group.
I'm looking at the website right now.
You're looking at Chocolate. Yeah.
The cars. I get what you mean about Figment. Like it looks like the cars are like from Figment, but it's on like an Omnimover track. Is what you're saying.
Exactly. It's a constantly moving track, but yeah, it's got like exactly. It's like it's an Omnimover, but it's got like the Figment type car where there's a spot in the front, spot in the back. Although I noticed this time, like I said, I haven't been there 10 years. They've upgraded. Now there's screens in it, and which felt very Spaceship Earth-esque. But you can't do the fun stuff that you can do on Spaceship Earth. It's just a screen where they show you stuff. But yeah, listen, Chocolate World's the best. I love Chocolate World. And like I said, there are so few things anymore that are free. Like even like I actually forgot that you don't have to even pay for parking. You roll right up and walk in. It's few things that are like that anymore, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, and plus you just buy a lot of candy. And I'm not going to lie, I spent way too much money on a lot of candy.
That's the hook. Is they know
here it is.
Yeah, they know you're there for the candy.
Yeah, I mean, I had a s'mores cookie that was, you know, like the size of my head. That was delicious. That was fantastic. I mean, I bought candy bars. I bought churro Kit Kats that they had there that were delicious. Let's see what else I got. I got Hershey Kisses that were filled with stuff. Like, it's awesome. I love Chocolate World. So I will talk about Chocolate World. I literally drove out of my way to go to Chocolate World, even though I didn't go there.
Now to bring this back to Disney quickly, if what would you so this is like using the ride as the hook into getting you in.
Yeah.
Did you ever see Disney doing something like that where, like, I know that it's like they dump you out to the gift shop, but like using it as like the, hey, this is the entrance to our park or whatever.
Oh God, that'd be cool.
And they get you, and they get you on a ride to, get you into whatever it is they're wanting to sell you, right?
I mean, I still think that they should have made Star Tours the only way that you can get into Galaxy's Edge. I'm just saying that.
Yeah.
I've been saying that forever. Like, how great would that have been where if every single Star Tours ride ends in Galaxy's Edge and that's the way you get in, right? But like, I understand people don't ride Star Tours because it's, they get sick on it. But yeah,
the line would be too long.
Yeah, the line would be too long too, right?
It would make Galaxy's Edge less busy.
That's and Star Tours, immensely more busy. So I mean, I like the idea. I mean, the one thing I will say, so the other part of Hershey, Pennsylvania that I always loved, you used to get out of your car and literally you could smell the chocolate in the air. And it wasn't like Disney where they pumped it in. It was literally the chocolate factory.
Just filled real.
Yes, it was just real chocolate being produced. And I Googled this because I didn't smell it this time. And it's not because they don't make chocolate in Hershey anymore. It's because the factories have, advanced in technology and they don't need to vent chocolate smell into the air anymore. So which is disappointing because that was the best part. You literally walk out of your car and be like, chocolate.
Is chocolate the worst thing that's being pumped into the air?
Yeah, of all the things
that's what I'm saying.
To get on.
Yeah, I mean, because is that bad? I mean, because a couple people don't like chocolate, please.
Well, I mean, there is a whole environmental, implication to it. But yeah, if they could get all the bad stuff out and just keep piping the chocolate smell,
But here, that's the thing, right? Like, if you walk out of your car and smell chocolate in the air, you're way more likely to go buy chocolate in Chocolate World, right? Like, if you're smelling that drug, you're like, oh, I need chocolate now.
So my wife buys wax melts that have like different Disney smells. Okay. And there's one that smells like the confectionery. Ooh, and it drives us nuts because my son and I will be upstairs playing video games because our computers are set up upstairs. And all of a sudden we'll smell like baking downstairs. And my wife bakes, and this, Tom. Like,
I do know this,
yeah. My wife bakes. And so we get all excited. We're like, ooh, she's baking something. We come down and it's just the wax melts. And we're like, oh.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's part of, Trevor, why I didn't get the chocolate scented candles either. Because I know if I burned those, I would just be like, oh man, I want chocolate right now.
Yeah.
We have some of those Disney scented wax melts here too, but I refuse to buy any of the food ones because I'm like, anything I'm baking is going to smell better.
Oh, they are dangerous. They are dangerous though. They make you just hungry.
Yeah.
I mean, I think to me, the best smell at Disney is the ice cream shop on Main Street. Like, that's the one that gets me every time. Like, I have no intention of getting ice cream, and I walk by that store, and I'm just like, I smell waffle cones, must go have one. Like, every time. Like, I know that's they're probably, I mean, I know they make the waffle cones in there, but I'm sure they're also using those smellizer things that they pump the smell in too. But yeah,
do they sell just the waffle cones?
I mean, I'd eat just a waffle cone.
Yeah, like just give me like crumbled up waffle cone in a cup and I'll eat it.
Maybe throw some chocolate sauce on there or something.
I don't even need that.
No, really?
I could just go straight waffle cone.
I mean, I could too. They have good waffle cones. So, all right. Well, listen, that was the highlight of my 2 weeks off was Chocolate World. So, and I'm looking forward to other people talking about how much they love Chocolate World because it's one of those places, man. It's just, So, and I also, I love amusement parks. I just love amusement parks. And Hershey Park's a great park, by the way. It's one of the few like independent parks still out there. Most of them these days are owned by Six Flags or Cedar Fair. And if you're not owned by either one of those, like there's very few that aren't, right? Like almost all of the parks are owned by that. So yeah.
And they're not quite as good. I'm guessing, or the ones that aren't owned by one of those bigger companies.
And plus, the Hershey Park is everything is candy themed, so you can't go wrong with that, right? So, anyway, but that's enough of me talking about Hershey Park. So let's get it. Anything happened to either one of you want to talk about really quickly before we get into questions here, or we want to get into it?
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah, no, you go.
Well, my family, we went to go visit my husband's uncle and kind of had a mini little reunion, and they live in Grants Pass, Oregon. So I think I posted some pictures to the group on Facebook where my kids were all like, this is like real life Wilderness Lodge. And it was everywhere.
I saw that.
And it really was, though. Like, so, it was incredible. I was like, look at how awesome Disney did. It is this. Like, it was such a typical our family conversation too, because we've only stayed at Copper Creek literally one night, but we've been there multiple times for other things. And so they're just like, but look at that. And this is the lobby, and this is so it was like, I mean, look, it's a testament to the Imagineers. So
there you go. Yeah.
It was pretty awesome.
I say the same thing because we have like it's all like the same kind of design, right? Like you know, that mountain lodge sort of thing, right? You know, we get the same thing here. Is, you know, we drive for an hour and you're in a hotel that, you know, could pass for Wilderness Lodge. So
right,
you know, even though it's close, you know, I live close enough to it. I do the same thing as you. Is it's like, yeah, this looks like Disney.
yeah, we did the redwoods, and it was like, oh, and Grand Californian, here we are.
Yeah, sweet.
Yep. Nice. Trevor, anything for you before
I'm trying to think. I don't think I've had anything Disney related happen in the last. Actually, I actually surprised me. I had notifications set up on the DVC resale market app, and I completely forgot about it, and I got a weird pop up on my phone, and it turned out it was because I was searching for a new poly contract. And one popped up that was like close to what I was looking for, but
not perfect though.
No, yeah. So this was the thing, is that it was the price per point was kind of high. So we were we talked about it a little bit. And we decided to pass on it, but it was funny because I had set it up like a couple of months ago and I completely forgot about it. And I knew like what I was looking for was very specific, so there wouldn't be like a ton of contracts. But it was just kind of like. I was working, and all of a sudden I looked at my phone and I was like, oh, DVC. And all of a sudden my wife and I had like a 30-minute conversation about, you know, should we buy this contract? And I actually proposed to my wife that, you know, if we wanted to save points, we could actually stop staying Lakeview at the Poly. And she gave me a look.
She's like she's like, no, non-negotiable.
How dare you?
How dare you even suggest that?
Yeah, and then she actually pointed out something that Damon said a couple episodes before we did the wait list, that you know, once you stay in that like next level up, it's really hard to go back, right? So
100%. Like once you get like. Ever since staying in 2 bedrooms, like it's like hard for me not to stay, like to go back to a studio. I don't know how I'm going to go back to a studio, like at any point. Like given the past couple trips we've gone with family, so we kind of need the 2-bedroom. But man, once you like, it's the same thing with once you stay in a deluxe, right? Like because we always stayed in value resorts, then we stayed in a deluxe resort, and we were like, well, now we can't do anything but this. Like we have to, you know, like now we have to do this from now on, you know, so. Anyway, Becky, I don't know if you're going to say something. I apologize.
Oh, no, I was just chuckling.
Okay.
Just agreeing with my laughter.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I do that all the time. People hate that I laugh at myself all the time, but whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. Let's get into some questions here. Yeah. You guys don't even have these on the rundown. I'm just going to read them straight off of Facebook. We're just going to.
Oh boy! All right, we're going in blind.
Yeah, we're doing it blind. Okay. So Bobby says, if someone told you they wanted to buy all your DVC points, but you can never go to Disney again, what's your buyout number? Why would I do that? Why would I do that? Like, no. I mean, so I never go again? Is it just Disney World? Is it Disneyland? Is it all?
That's my question. Yeah. There's too many parks. Like, if I have to skip, the ones I've been to, I consider it, but I'm not ruling out the international parks.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing is that, if I can still go to like Tokyo Disney, I mean, it would still have to be a lot of money because
like $50 million. Yeah, like a private jet to Tokyo Disneyland.
a couple mil. But then I'm going to Tokyo Disney as often as I'm going to Florida.
And what kind of maniacal millionaire is offering me this deal where they're just like, I don't want you to have happiness anymore.
Right. So that's some Dr. Evil scheme going on there to like buy up all the DVC points.
It feels like an Ursula deal. It feels like there's going to be a catch here somewhere.
Oh, totally. Well, yeah. I mean, no. The short answer is no. If you tell me I have to do something, or if you're telling me that I'm getting a deal, but I have to stop going to Disney, well, pass.
Yeah, exactly.
Trevor's just defiant.
I won't. I won't. I won't give up my points. Forget
it. I agree with you.
Yep.
I'm not giving mine up either.
I know. I'm pass.
Yeah.
Kevin asked an interesting question that required some Googling. So he said, what Touchstone Pictures IP, and in parentheses, Disney's PG-13 get out of jail free card from back in the 80s till 2017, would you like to see get a dark ride in Hollywood studios? Now, this is a really interesting question. And I just pulled this up, actually. I pulled up a list here, right? And so I'm just going to go by highest grossing films under the Touchstone label. Signs, Armageddon, Pearl Harbor, Lincoln, Pretty Woman, The Help, Wild Hogs, 3 Men and a Baby, The Proposal, The Waterboy, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So that we already got one for that one, right? So let's see. Sister Act, Ransom, Bringing Down the House, Sweet Home Alabama, Good Morning Vietnam, The Village, Enemy of the State, Phenomenon, Dick Tracy, Gone in 60 Seconds, Con Air.
This is good. Oh my. Oh no.
Yeah, so let's stop at Con Air.
Yeah, I'm looking at the same list, and 2 down from that gets real serious. So,
so I mean, I'm actually going to go with the top one on here. I feel like Signs would make a really cool and terrifying dark ride.
Are you? No, I don't want Signs as a dark ride.
What, you want Con Air?
No, I mean,
I want an animatronic Nicolas Cage. That's what I want in my
yeah. Of only these ones
of the top 25. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious. There's way more than this because this is just their highest grossing.
This is just their highest grossing. I need to see the whole library. I don't know where the whole library. Oh wait, here's the whole library. Okay. Oh well, Splash is on there. Oh my gosh, now I gotta like roll through all these.
Well, Splash was supposed to be Splash Mountain.
Wait, they had all the Ernest movies on Touchstone. Okay. I would love to see it. Do you guys know Ernest? I mean,
Ernest Squirrel.
Everyone knows Ernest, right? Yeah. Okay. Listen. I don't know if everybody knows
Slinky
Ernest.
Dog.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
For anyone that doesn't, Jim.
The original Slinky Dog, anyway.
Oh my goodness! Why am I forgetting his last name? Jim.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Jim.
Varney. Jim Varney.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh man, I'm just not seeing like any other good ones on here though, right? Like, you don't think Signs would be good? It'd be terrifying, but it would be kind of cool.
I mean, that would be like Alien Encounter level, which it would last about 6 months.
Okay, here I've got one. Ready? The Rocketeer. How about that?
Oh, I'd do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I had a Rocketeer lunchbox when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't think I ever saw the movie. I think my mom just got it on sale somewhere.
What about Adventures in Babysitting?
Oh, Three Ninjas.
I mean, that's a classic.
Three Ninjas.
What about Three Ninjas? Three Ninjas. Yes.
Oh.
I love this idea. Now we're just saying movies.
And maybe like Spaceship Earth style, everybody's face in the car because there's 3 seats, and then they go into the ninja faces.
Oh yeah, this is excellent. I love this idea. Good
Morning Vietnam. I mean, rest in peace, Robin Williams. But like otherwise, I can't imagine what else would be okay with having that besides him yelling.
Face Off. Oh, Air Force One. Starship Troopers. I didn't realize that was Touchstone.
Why do you keep going for the alien movies?
I don't know. I feel like aliens kind of weirdly lend themselves to it. I mean, you could go Armageddon too, I guess, right? I mean, you could make a cool thing with Armageddon.
It's like that. But do you ride that before or after the other space themed rides in Epcot? Because,
all right, fine.
What are we doing here?
Right.
All right, fine. How about Gone in 60 Seconds? A movie I never saw, but I feel it could make a cool dark ride.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought that there was a Fast and Furious ride.
There was. That is terrible, right? Like it's considered one of the worst rides at Universal, right? So
I mean, Gone in 60 Seconds. I guess I may get some hate for this. I liked it. I thought I guess not everybody likes Nicolas Cage movies, but
I like Nicolas Cage.
It was good. I enjoyed it. Like it was a good movie. I would see a dark ride of that.
It brings a different element than just the whatever Fast and Furious is about, because I can't imagine that I've seen past number one of those. So
I think I saw the first one and I was like, I think I've seen enough.
More than, yeah.
Yeah, I think I've seen enough of these. I'm actually kind of surprised that National Treasure wasn't under the Touchstone, because I feel like National Treasure would make a cool dark ride.
Absolutely agree.
Isn't that like full Disney now?
It is, yeah. Like I think they didn't have that under the Touchstone label. I don't think so. Yeah, but I mean, if we're just going to go off of that, I'm just going to say yes. Let's do that. What an interest! That was a really good question, Kevin. I really like that one.
Yeah, you got me looking at. There's a whole bunch of movies in here that I didn't even associate as like
with Disney movies.
Yeah.
Well, that's
There's
why
a lot of Nicolas Cage, really, though.
Yeah, a lot of Nick Cage. I didn't realize that like M. Night Shyamalan like released a bunch of his stuff on Touchstone. So like that was interesting.
Mm-hmm. There's a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I mean, that's
a good one.
That could be a very fun dark ride.
That could be a very fun dark ride. I agree. All right, so Sean wants to know. We're going to move on for this one.
Yeah.
Sean wants to know, what's your guess on how many unused points expire every year?
Ooh.
I don't know, millions, probably, right? Hundreds of thousands at least.
I wouldn't say it's in the millions. I feel like it couldn't be that high.
You don't know. I mean, that's true. I mean, I guess
217,405.
Becky obviously has the answer.
Right? Yes. Actually,
Becky's ready to be on The Price is Right. she knows to give the exact answer.
Yeah.
I've been on The Price is Right, so actually,
really?
Yeah.
Wait, were you like a contestant or were you just in the crowd?
I was a contestant.
What?
Wow.
Wait, did you like make it on stage and stuff? Now we're talking about this.
Oh gosh.
Wait, Bob Barker days or Drew Carey days?
Oh, Bob Barker and Rod Roddy. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Wait, so you actually like get up there though and like, winning prizes or anything?
I did. There was a thing in my senior year of high school that we had to put like, what will you have accomplished in 5 years? I'm like, I will have gone on The Price is Right and won a car. And I did. Like a month after graduating.
You won a car too?
Wow.
I did. Yeah.
Oh my God.
It was amazing.
Send me the episode and I want to go find this.
Oh gosh.
Let's have that as an aside. I don't want to put.
Nope, we're not going to go that route right now, but I'll find some pictures.
Yeah.
Okay. 10 chances.
Cool,
and I'll send you some pictures. Yeah, we'll put some. Okay. Awesome. We'll find some.
That's it.
Sorry, continue.
All right. I'm going to go past this question because we don't know the answer to it. So I'm going to go to Amber with the dining plan returning. Do you think Disney would ever give an earlier table service booking window to those who purchase the plan? I actually love this idea, but at the same time, I feel like it's not really fair. But I mean, a lot of things are not fair with Disney and paying for things, right? So, I mean, I don't know. I like it as an idea, though. I guess just me as somebody who doesn't buy the dining plan wouldn't love it. I don't know. As long as they keep like a separate tranche of reservations for others, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Go ahead, Becky, and then I'll put in my 2 cents.
I'm 100% out on the dining plan. Like, pretty much never happening unless I have a one-night stay somewhere, DVC, and make it make sense over 2 days. The only exception in my book. It just doesn't save money at all.
Yeah, not for
how I hop or how I do anything. And with my family or not, it's just not happening. But I want to know if they're opening, if they opened it early, then what happens? They just extended that cancel time to be 2 hours before? It's like, man, nobody else is coming ever to these restaurants. If you drop that and people have booked it so far out, it's like, you're closing off any potential walk-ups too. So.
Yeah, I'm kind of there with you on that, Becky, because I feel like Disney, like obviously they want to push the dining plan, but there's a lot of people that just will not use the dining plan. But then, it becomes that problem of, you're going to have people making reservations just for the sake of making reservations, or I don't know. I could see it turning into one of these weird gray market things again, like they did with fast passes, where somebody will figure out how to capitalize on it, and it gets us in a position where you'll never get a booking for a restaurant unless you're paying for the dining plan or somebody who has a reservation already, and you're sliding them money under the table because, sorry, people were doing that with fast passes. I know it's crazy, but here we are. So I feel like, as much as Disney wants to push the dining plan, I don't think it would be in their best interest. Like to your point, you would have restaurants not full, or you would have people, booking reservations and just letting them slide because it's part of the dining plan, right? Because I guess the thing is they would have to work in such a way that it's like either, you're going to get penalized if you don't, if you ignore this booking, because Disney does that, right? They'll charge you if you're a no-show. But if it's on the dining plan, how are they doing that? Because then people would argue, well, I already paid for this, so you're just giving me my reservation, right? And I feel it would not be. I just can't see it ever being a good idea. And yeah, for me personally, I would hate to be in a position where it would be like with annual passes. If it was like, well, you have to buy an annual pass if you want to get on ride X. Like, that's what I feel like it would be. And that just does not, like, that kind of goes, I think, what Disney's trying to get rid of right now, which is, people are very much of the opinion that you're not getting a lot of value for what you're paying for. And I think this actually makes that perception worse. So I'm against it.
By the way, I did not put this on the rundown, but they did release the prices for the dining plan for next year while we were out. Which, I mean, actually considering, I mean, the child price went down actually slightly. Yeah. And the adult price went up. What's that?
I don't have children.
I know.
My kid is big enough that he gets billed as an adult. So,
well, the adult price, I mean, listen, it went up, what, $16 per adult? I mean, it's not terrible. It could have been worse.
But I think you get less snacks too, don't you?
Do you get less snacks now?
I thought it was only one snack now or something.
Oh, well, actually, the quick service dining plan is only slightly more expensive for adults, like $2 more expensive. So it seems like they're pushing people towards the quick service plan, but I don't know. I don't know.
Those prices. Yeah. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Those prices made me think that they are heavy catering to families with multiple 3 to 9 children. Excuse me. And that would, make it look attractive because like, oh, it's only this much for these kids. And then does it, balance out that the fact that any adults in the party have to pay an absolute ton more, but it doesn't balance out. It's still math. But that was my perception looking at it, was like, honestly, the child price is attractive if you're doing table service, the more expensive one, because it really does come pretty close. Plus you're adding in those silly resort cup things. So it's like, realistically,
child price is downright cheap. I mean, it's honestly pretty. It's really. I think you could save money with the child price. Absolutely.
Like the all up, yeah. But then, I mean, I think they still have the caveat of everyone on your reservation has to have exactly the same thing. That's just never going to suit every family size. But hey, if you guys want to spend the money to do that, you do it. Great. I mean, there's plenty I don't spend money on at Disney. So
if you could figure out a way that if you were telling me I could get the kids plan and just only eat kids meals the whole time I was there, like, I would do it. But
that's what I do anyway. Yep, absolutely.
Because the thing is, the problem I have with it is like I've done the math on how I eat, how we do meals and stuff, and we realized a long time ago that it's like, I can't do multiple sit downs because sit down meals are a lot of food. And if they're forcing you into, you have to use this many sit downs per day or whatever. Yeah. I'm 3 days in and I'm in a food coma. So
yeah. You don't want to get in a food
coma. A lot of park time too.
That too. It's a lot of time on reservations, and I mean, and I guess if that's what you're there for, that's great. But some sit downs are definitely, worth the experience, but there's also others where it's like, come on, let's hurry up because I got a Guardians time. Like, let's go.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm glad it's back because I think a lot of people do like it, but and I don't. you got to do the math on it, right? Because obviously they have raised prices if you just buy food in the park, right? Like, like everywhere else, they've raised their food prices, right? So, so them, making the plan higher, not surprising, right? Like, I get it, but I guess you'd have to really do the math on it to really see if it's worth it for you. And I've said before on the show, like, we used to do the dining plan where we used to do the packages, right? Like, before we got DVC. And then one time we decided not to do it and just, I just added up all the stuff we spent on on food, all the money we spent on food. And then realized that we were spending way less, especially because, like, my wife usually doesn't do dessert, right? Like, and I remember too, when it was appetizer, entree, dessert, like, it's a lot of food. Like you said, it's too much for a lot of people. And so we really couldn't do that most of the time. And so if we just were by ourselves without the meal plan, we would just be buying, an entree, and I would probably get a dessert. My wife probably wouldn't. Right. So, like, yeah, it just depends on your situation, though. It definitely saves money for some people. So Dan, of course, comes in with a ridiculous question. Disney Bus Roulette. Imagine you're taking the bus back to your hotel, Animal Kingdom Lodge from Magic Kingdom. Would you rather sit next to a screaming child or next to a parent scolding their child for bad behavior? I think this is an obvious answer. The parent scolding the child for bad behavior, right? That's like one of my favorite people watching things, is to watch kids getting scolded. Like,
okay. All right. This is a hard one for me because I have I'm overly empathetic on these things, and I actually feel embarrassed for other people sometimes. And so, somebody scolding their child, I would actually feel embarrassed on their behalf, which I know I shouldn't. But I would want to be out of that situation. The screaming child, I feel, is like, there's enough of that going on, especially at Disney, that doesn't really faze me anymore. And even like that happens at the grocery store. Like, we'll be in the checkout, and, like, somebody's kid will be having a meltdown, and I'm just like, oh, it sucks to be you. Like, it's not like, no bad, no ill will to the parent or anything, but it's like, yep, they're having a meltdown. I've been there. It's fine. I can deal with that. Somebody getting on their kid, I don't. That is too uncomfortable for me.
Listen, I think there's degrees too, though, right? Yeah. Like, because I've seen some parents be pretty terrible to their kids there. Like, but there are some interactions that are also funny, right? Like, I heard one mom just, like, their kid was just crying while eating ice cream while the parade was going by. And the mom was just like, we're at Disney World, you're eating ice cream, and there's a parade going by. What could you possibly be crying about? And it's like, it's a fair point. Like, that kind of stuff is funny. But, like, I've seen some not great things that do make me feel uncomfortable. But it's more funny when it's just like, I don't know. It's like, I saw a parent scolding their teens for not enjoying enjoying the time there. They're like, do you know how much money we spent on this vacation and you're not enjoying it? That kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. I guess. Yeah. There is different degrees of it. Like, if there's like, if there's two kids fighting and the parents are like, hey, knock it off, we're in Disney kind of thing. I guess, yeah, I will kind of, that'll make me chuckle, because it's like, yeah, the whole perspective of kids forgetting where they are, I guess is kind of funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, for me, it's, if somebody was like lecturing their kid on the bus, I would be like, can you just not do that here? Yeah. Can you wait until
save
you
it for the room? Save it for the room. Yeah.
Yeah.
Becky, do you have thoughts about that?
I first like to point out that you're not escaping either of those scenarios by sitting anywhere on the bus.
Unless you're on an empty bus, right? Like, yeah.
Well, but then it's probably me with my kids, right?
Yeah. Trevor and I only have one each to yell at, so you have way more.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree with the screaming kid. Like, I'm not even going to hear that. I barely heard it when it was my own, because if you address it in a negative way, it makes it worse. And if you don't want to feed it, just be like, you're going to be fine. Let's move on. Like, that's that. Mm-hmm. So meltdowns in the grocery store. Yeah, that's, that happens. there's many reasons, and I just move on. But the jerk parents being jerks to be jerks, I can't.
That's not cool. Yeah.
And I just, I mean, like you said, though, it can be fully entertaining, and I will mock it forever in my mind. But like,
as long as it doesn't like cross that line where it's like, not good parenting, you know. I mean, I don't want to like, you know, escalate it to like abusive or anything like that. But it's when it's like somebody just being really mean to their kid. Like it's, I mean, I get it too. It's stressful. It's hot. It's everyone's, you know, it's like,
parents have their own meltdowns too. And unfortunately, kids, you know, kids sometimes catch it, you know, it's, you know, I've had enough of you because, you know, I'm trying to enjoy this too. And, you know, like I get that. But at the same time, it's like, you know, you're an adult. Take a breath. You know, you know, you don't need to take it out on your kid on the bus with, you know, a bunch of other people standing around you. Like
exactly.
Well, and my whole issue entirely with the other adult interaction thing with the kid, controlling my face. Is. When I was in the military, no worries. But I'm out now, and like, I'm sorry, you're going to see every expression I have, and that'll get me in trouble. So I prefer to be by the screaming kid. That's my answer.
I'm guilty of that too. I sometimes will react, like I'll look at someone like, and it's like, oh, I probably shouldn't be, you know, acknowledging a stranger's situation like that.
Oh man.
That's how fights start.
That's how people get banned from Disney World. Okay, that's how people get banned. So all right, so let's talk about some DVC stuff really quickly here because we are like way off schedule here. Like, so let's try to talk these things really quick. So they have a new incentive, a new old incentive, but they're doing a free points offer during summer this year, where essentially they're giving quote unquote free points. Right. So, which essentially is just like, if you get up to the level of buying 150 points, they only calculate it as 145 points that they're going to charge you for. Right. So like they're giving you just extra points for free.
Like I guess it really discount.
Points. Yeah. And then on top of, you also get the discount too. So like the cash incentive as well. So, yeah. So, I mean, that's not bad. I mean, if you're buying direct right now, like there's some good incentives. They have it for Grand Floridian and for Riviera and for Alani because they'll never sell that out. And, it looks like some of the old ones too. So they have like, let's see, wait. No, they're not doing free points for Old Key, but they are doing incentives. So interesting.
Yeah, I guess that comes down to, you know, like you said, you know, timing wise, depending on what you're in the market for, like, I guess if we were, you know, where we were back when we were buying into the poly, if this was an option, because we only started with 100 points, we may have actually gone up to 150 points if these kinds of discounts were on at the time. But the poly stuff was too good at the time. So hence we bought the poly. Yeah, I mean, definitely good that Disney's doing this because, you know, and I keep saying this, you know, they're getting back to their pre-pandemic behavior, which, you know, people have been yearning for that. But I think people also need to realize that, you know, you're not going to get the same prices, but, you know, they're definitely trying to at least extend something out to new owners and existing owners that, you know, hey, you know, we're not just going to charge you exorbitant prices. You know, there is still deals to be had from time to time.
Well, and they also, just to that point, they also have an add-on offer too for current members, right? So there's a 150 point add-on offer specifically for Grand Floridian. So it's an additional discount of $1,500 as a welcome home bonus when you add 150 points or more at either Grand Floridian, Riviera, or of course Alani. Which will never sell out ever. Yeah. So no, this is good stuff. I mean, like for me, I'm never going to buy probably direct again. So it's all resale here on out. So
yeah,
this is the tricky thing for us. Like I want to have the FOMO over it, but I also don't want to own at any of those resorts at all.
Yeah.
And I look at what this breakdown gives about $161 per point if you're doing all of those deals, you're a current member and Grand Floridian, right? I think that's one of things in this rundown of the breakdown of everything.
That's the Venn diagram of like,
right. If it all crosses in the middle. Yeah. So not awful. Honestly, they're not awful. However, I then sit back and think, but I got 240 points for close to $100 each. So why would I ever want to spend close to the same total buy-in, not including fees and everything, and then just not have even close to the same amount of points? Again, an add-on, I get it, but that's not helping my family. I'm staying, 2 nights maybe in a 2-bedroom at Grand Flow for 150 points. It's never,
it's a lot.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Every time I think it looks attractive, I just think, but I saved way more money.
Well, I will say, right, so I quickly just pulled up resale market prices, right? If you could get yourself down to 161, you're pretty much the same as resale price.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, the average resale price for Grand Flow right now is 159. So
yeah,
that's where I've been seeing poly contracts as well as in that ballpark. So yeah, this is definitely competing with resale on that
absolutely.
level.
Yeah, so if you're looking to buy, well, see, this is add-on though, right? So like, you already have to be a member to get this. But yeah, to your point, like if you're looking to get more points and like you like buying direct, I mean, this is a great deal.
I agree.
The thing about direct too is, financing is zero down, right? So you can, again, depending on the situation, this could actually be better for somebody if their desired resort is Grand Flow and everything else lines up. So
yeah, for sure. So I mean, interesting offer. It's it's like you said, they're doing some different things, so it's not a bad thing. So I really want to talk about this Muppet thing, so I'm just going to skip past the rest. I mean, we talked about DVC, right? We did our required minimum. Do we want to do the ad first, or no? Let's talk about Muppets. All right.
Okay, are you sure? Because I mean,
we could go on for this for a while. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's do the ad then. Fine. Let's do the ad.
Okay, DVC Resale Market, a World of DVC company, is the leader in the DVC resale industry with 13 former Disney Vacation Club guides and 3 former Disney Vacation Club quality assurance managers. If you're thinking of buying DVC, browse the largest selection of DVC resale listings anywhere, with DVC experts on hand 7 days a week to answer your questions. If you're thinking of selling, turn to the friendly professionals at DVC Resale Market, where over 98% of listings sell within 30 days. In 2021, DVC Resale Market helped over 4,400 families join or add on to their memberships. Go to dvcresalemarket.com or call 1-844-DVC-PROS, that's 382-7767. And when you speak to them, be sure to let them know the Welcome Home sent you. Or select us on the drop-down, because that's a thing now. Yeah.
Look for our name in the drop-down. We really got to update those numbers.
Yeah, they need to send us some new numbers.
They do need to send. I mean, it's 2021. We need at least 2022 numbers. Yeah. All right. So I have not watched the Muppets Mayhem, right? But I've heard it's good. I did see that there were some good reviews for it. So the creator, if you're not familiar, it's the Muppets Mayhem is a show about the band from the Muppets, right? And I believe it's them going and like recording a record or whatever, right? I think that's what they're doing. But anyway, the creator of the show says part of their pitch for the show was actually a retheme to the Rock and Roller Coaster, to retheme it to the Electric Mayhem. And I think this is an amazing idea. It's funny though, because this sparked a really interesting conversation in the Discord. Who's more relevant at this point, Aerosmith or the Muppets? And I feel like the answer is the Muppets, but
in my circles too. Yeah.
I don't know.
I think that
go ahead,
the time frame almost comes to be like for the same original audience, though. No, like
that's fair, right? Yeah.
But then you've got, kids can get into the Muppets more than they're most likely going to latch onto Aerosmith at this particular juncture.
Well, I mean, basically the only place that Aerosmith is relevant anymore is Rock and Roller Coaster, right? That's like the only place you would really see Aerosmith as a kid is if you went on Rock and Roller Coaster. But the Muppets are a lot of places. I mean, there's movies. They did the Haunted Mansion one. They just have the series out. I feel like, and I think even if you don't know the Muppets, you at least know like Kermit, right? Like like the main Muppets, even if you don't, right? I mean, maybe
it's Sesame Street.
Older kids. I don't know.
It's Sesame Street and all that. Like it's all tied together in like Jim Henson type stuff, right? Like puppeteering and all that is, it's definitely a lot more kid targeted, kid friendly. I mean, to your point about Aerosmith, I mean, the last thing I actually remember with Aerosmith was actually the Polar Express, but that was like a weird little cameo at the end. Yes, Aerosmith was in the Polar Express.
I'm just remembering the music video for Armageddon. Not to bring up Armageddon 3 times in one show, but
Polar Express is even more relevant. No, we're not getting an Armageddon ride, Tom. No. Move on.
Why not? I want an Armageddon ride designed by Michael Bay.
An animal cracker at the end. You'll be good to go.
Exactly.
Oh boy.
Oh man, that's a reference, Becky. Wow. I wonder how many
people. Song. It's this. Oh, yeah. Come on.
No, I know what you're talking about. I'm just saying, how many people are going to know that reference? But no, like
same number that want that ride, Tom.
I mean, like, but what else are you going to? Because they're going to have to retheme this thing eventually, right? Like, it can't be Aerosmith forever. It's going to have to be something more relevant at some point, right? And like I've said many times before on here that they should make it Monsters Inc. theme, and they should do like a door coaster, like the doors at the end of the movie, right? But like, I think Muppets would be cool too. Like the Muppets are chaotic, and I mean, Animal, like just having Animal going on in this ride would be awesome. I think, right?
I mean, the pre-show would be so like again, not having seen the movie either, but I've watched the trailers and everything for it, and it's like, it's very easy to like replace the pre-show with Aerosmith with the Muppets in the booth, and just go crazy with it. And also to that end, they do have Muppet Vision still in the park.
Exactly.
Which comes back to, it's not necessarily a matter of, who's more relevant in an overall social status thing. It's, you're at Disney, what is more relevant at Disney? And looking at Rock and Roller Coaster, it made sense back when it was MGM, because MGM was kind of an amalgamation of different stuff, like not necessarily Disney stuff. It was all over the place. Like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles used to be
I forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Exactly, right? So, it's kind of become a remnant of older things. And if they wanted to, kind of deal with it, people have those complaints sometimes about, why is this ride over here? This should all be in the same kind of place, giving Hollywood studios partially a Muppets identity or keeping, that franchise kind of going in the same park. I think people would be all over that. And it would, it's not like Rock and Roller Coaster is like a dead ride at this point. Like people are still lining up for it all the time, but it would bring it back into, or it brings some hype back to it is what would happen. Yeah. Like I would absolutely ride it if it was Muppets. And I can already see like, because the way that the ride is structured is they've got all that like, all the black light stuff, and like you're going by all the Hollywood signs and everything. That's very easy to like. It's not even a ton of effort to replace that because there's no real animatronics to replace. It's just they could still keep it as just the signs, but change it to like Muppet theme stuff, or they could go. Yeah. Or they could go further in on it and they could do screens or whatever. But again, because the ride is fast, you're not like, you're kind of getting bombarded with a lot of stuff really quickly anyway. And then, the music, like it could be the Muppets doing covers of Aerosmith songs at this point.
Oh my God. That is right. Trevor, that is the most brilliant idea I've ever heard.
Totally. Like Electric Mayhem doing Aerosmith. Like, amazing. Why would you not?
Yeah, I didn't even think of that, but that's a brilliant idea. But I also want animatronic Animal, right? Like, I feel like I need an animatronic of Animal playing the drums, right? Like, I want to see that, By the way,
he could be in the loading area. Like, he could just be in the back, like, doing stuff.
Like, I feel like this ride would definitely feature Animal, right? Because, like, that's the most famous member of the Electric Mayhem, right? Like, I think, or most popular, I should say, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Dr. Teeth is...
Dr. Teeth
is well, yeah. But yeah,
I mean,
you're right.
Animal's way more popular than Dr. Teeth, though.
True. Yeah.
So I just want to point out too that Theme Park Tours did a poll on their website about this, and they asked who people want to see as the theme for Rock and Roller Coaster. They have the Muppets Mayhem at 68%, Queen at 8%, because remember we heard a Queen rumor for a while. 18% keep Aerosmith, and 6% something different. So
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
unscientific poll, but I mean,
I mean that's polling Disney fans, which
true. That's who matters, though.
You've also given them specific choices and then other. So
yeah, but the other was small though, but I mean, it seems like it's not a bad idea. And I mean, Becky, you wrote on the Discord, you were talking with your kids about this, right? Like,
yeah, which was bizarre. We were at my brother's yesterday, and he was all excited. He goes, "Hey, on Disney Plus, the original Muppets, it's on there now." And my brother is 11 years older than I am. I'm the fourth of 5 kids, and he's the oldest, and he's the one that lives by us. And my husband and I are the same age, and we're like, yeah, I mean, it's awesome. We like it, but I personally don't have that. When I was a kid, we watched this all the time. That was my brother. And so that's great. And I was like, yeah, it's fine. It's cool. The kids all watched it. However, my kids are like, yeah, we recognize the Muppets. Most of it, Muppets Haunted Mansion, we've watched the older movies with them and everything. So they like them. But my nephew, who is 19, was like, this is you guys' generation. And I'm like, hey, let's not lump me in with your 50-plus-year-old father, all right? And
if you played that same kid an Aerosmith song, you'd be like, oh, this is old people music, right? Like,
quite possibly. But then you'd have like my 14-year-old be like, this is epic, love it all. Like, it's gonna be a range, but there's definitely a little bit of drop off because they are able to be like, but that's the cringiest thing ever on things that probably totally are. But to my brother, it was sheer nostalgia and he loved it. And my kids weren't disinterested, but the timing was hilarious because this happened like 10 minutes before I saw your message to me. So it was like, oh,
perfect timing.
There's that. It really was timely. But then I saw that Dan, I think, was talking about making it be the Incredicoaster East. And I was like, oh, don't do it. Don't give him that. Terrible plan.
Well, I feel like Trevor's idea, though, is the perfect idea, right? Because
it absolutely is.
You still make it Aerosmith.
Yeah.
But then
look at Aerosmith. Yeah.
Yeah. Do covers. And like they could even, I was thinking even like the pre-show, like I was saying, because they still, they have Aerosmith in the booth. You could redo that whole thing just with Muppets, and it would still work.
Yes,
100%. You just replace Aerosmith with Muppets. Easy.
Yep. And then they don't have to pay licensing because they're covers, and they can do whatever they want.
Oh man, this is such a great idea.
I can picture it exactly, which is why it's awesome.
Yes,
we can all design it easily.
Yeah,
and that's exactly why it works as the Muppets. Is that the thing people don't realize about the Muppets is that they've been doing covers for a really long time.
Yeah.
Like if you actually go look at on like YouTube, they've done a lot of covers over the years, and like that's what the Muppets are good at. Is like even when they did the shows back in the days, they were always doing like it was almost like Weird Al
parody
stuff, right? And I think that to your brother's point about it's nostalgia for him and he was excited about it is at the time it was pretty groundbreaking. It was I'm gonna get some hate for this. It's kind of like the same way that like young adults get excited about Rick and Morty. And I know like we shouldn't talk about like that show is really kind of extreme, but like Muppets, obviously it wasn't as extreme, but this was back when everything was syndicated and you couldn't get away with a lot of stuff and they were pushing the envelope, right?
Well,
so they were
it's like the Simpsons in the early day. If you like look at the old Simpsons, you're like, this was controversial at the time. How?
So yes, it's that generational and that's I think at our age that's why the Muppets still kind of stick is like you, Becky. I didn't grow up necessarily with the Muppets, but I did watch a lot of the Muppets because it was on reruns and stuff like that. But it was enough that it stuck with me, and I've showed it to my son. And he didn't quite do the like, oh, this is a dad's thing. He was like, oh yeah, it was okay. Like, but he's got his current generation of stuff that is making him laugh the same way that the Muppets made us laugh when we were kids.
Absolutely, yep.
So, but that's fine. But if you're still going back to a Disney park, though, Disney can swing it in such a way that, it still hits for the parents, but it's, kid friendly enough, and, just they can make it work. There's no way that they couldn't make Muppets work on that ride.
I mean, you could even insert you can have some of the other more the characters outside of Electric Mayhem there, right? Like you could have Kermit there. Like, Kermit could be there for whatever reason, right? Like it doesn't even need to be a reason. You just throw Kermit in there. Like you could make it work with other more relatable characters outside of the Electric Mayhem, because I agree with this. Like I'm not nostalgic for the original shows. I'm more nostalgic for like the movies and like all that other kind of stuff, right? And even nowadays, like with Muppet Haunted Mansion was great. Like although we all know that New Kermit is terrible and that guy should be fired and maybe sent away to an island somewhere to live there forever. But although I saw him recently and he sounded fine, I was like, what's going on here?
Maybe he just had a cold.
Stick to one Kermit. Yeah, like he's had a cold now for years? Sorry. Anyway, here's the question though I have, right? So let's say they do this, right? Let's say they do this, they retheme it, they make it Muppets. Do they get rid of Muppets Vision 3D? Like, because that ride, I mean, that show is old really old at this point. Like, does that clear the way for them to do something different with that theater?
Isn't that the last thing that Jim Henson worked on? Is that right?
Is it?
Is it?
I feel like there's some sort of connection there that I always get told about, and
I'm gonna do some Wikipedia right now.
So then I realize, like, I don't know if that would be. I don't know that though they updated the pre-show. They make it relevant. Like it's just, support of the Muppets at that point that they're able to still bridge all these different social and generational gaps with completely ridiculous humor that the kids won't always get, but the adults will catch it and it's hilarious. So
it's layered. Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
You're right.
It says it was directed by Jim Henson in one of his final projects before his death in 1990. But
did he not get to see it finished because production of the film was before production of the film was completed, he died. So yeah.
But I mean, I would argue then that if we're going to hold on to things because it was the last of, or
gosh, you're right,
whatever,
for sure.
I mean, Captain EO was
slippery slope.
Yeah, right. Like we shouldn't touch any of that stuff, and
Disney World shouldn't be there because Walt died.
Yeah.
That's
yeah. And I mean, listen, we're getting into some dangerous waters here. So
yeah,
32 years old at this point. Like, I mean, like it's time for something new there. I just like,
or at least an update.
I love Muppet Vision 3, I really do, but like, I just need something new there. Like, we gotta. I'm just trying to think. It's one of the last like opening day attractions from Hollywood Studios, right? Wasn't it opening day there? Yeah, I mean, is there anything else left from Hollywood Studios that's an opening day attraction?
Star Tours after.
Oh my gosh, Star Tours is probably up.
Star Tours was definitely after because that opened in the 90s.
Oh, my first trip was in 2004. I don't know anything prior.
Because I remember going on Star Tours in the 90s in Disneyland, and that was like it had just opened there, and I believe it opened on both coasts close to the same time.
Yeah, wait a second. Was it an opening day attraction? I mean, how old is Hollywood Studios at this point? When was that? 89. So it wasn't an opening day. I'm sorry, I'm wrong. It was opening day attraction for California Adventure, not for Hollywood Studios. So
right, yeah. So I was going to say because if this was one of Jim Henson's final projects, he passed away well after Hollywood Studios opened.
But like, listen, man, like this has got to be one of the longest running things they have at this point, besides like some of the original Magic Kingdom attractions like Peter Pan and like Small World. Like I don't know what I would love to see a list of longest running Disney attractions, but it's got to be up there.
I think they just need to they need to update it because like the funny thing about it is it's like it's the whole thing around it is an experimental 3D thing that
news at this point
that is very comical at this point because it talks about 3D design, and when you look at 3D design now, it's becoming like hyper realistic.
Yeah.
So it's very like It's showing its age.
The pre-show. I feel like they have updated the pre-show with stuff.
Oh,
right?
they have, yeah,
because they've done some funny stuff in the pre-show. And listen, it's still, even though it's this old, like it's still great. Like it's like all the effects in the theater and like all the stuff that happens, like it's still great. But I feel like if they're gonna do another, like, are they gonna really have 2 Muppet things at Hollywood Studios?
Why not?
I don't know. But the other problem
isn't that just part of the argument, like to make it have them have a better footing? Like, didn't we just say that?
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. Because
on opposite sides of the park, though, complete opposite sides of the park.
Well, I mean, it's better than Toy Story Land and Buzz Lightyear and Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, okay. It's fair. I mean, plus, if they did redo something, they'd have to redo that whole section of the park because it's Muppets Courtyard, right? So, like, and everything's themed to the Muppets there, so they'd have to redo that whole section of the park, basically.
Yeah.
So at least update it though. Like do something new with it. I don't know what, but do something new with it. Do a Muppet Dark Ride. Let's do a Muppet Dark Ride. Let's just get rid of the theater thing. Let's do a whole Muppets Dark Ride. I don't know what you would do with it, but just do something. Anyway, I love this idea though. I think we should do it. I think it should be done. Like
we totally went down a weird tangent there from Rock and Roller Coaster.
We always do, right? Like that's what happens. But no, listen, I think it's really kind of interesting too that this guy pitched the show to Disney with the idea of a ride as well. Like literally with the retheme ideas. Like, oh, we'll do this show and we're also going to retheme Rock and Roller Coaster.
That is very smart on his part because he's thinking bigger picture than just I want to do my show.
And you have to do that at Disney, right? Like, where are the different angles you got to hit, right?
Yeah, merchandise, rides, all that stuff. Like, that's... And the thing is, too, is then that opens up, back to merchandise, that, that opens it up. Because, sorry, but I never stop in the gift shop in Rock
outside
and Roller
Roller Coaster. No,
yeah, because it's like...
I'll tell you one thing that's in that store.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't want Aerosmith stuff at Disney. Like if I want Aerosmith stuff, I'll go buy Aerosmith stuff, right? I don't need to be at Disney to buy it. So
that's what I'm saying though too. Like if you're saying that Muppets aren't relevant anymore, do having them in the ride make them relevant? Because the only way that Aerosmith's relevant at this point is through that ride, right? So like, does having them as part of that make them more relevant, right?
That's I wouldn't say it's fair to say Aerosmith's only relevant because of the ride. I think
at this
again,
point...
Aerosmith is in like. To us, Aerosmith is irrelevant. As Disney park goers, they seem very irrelevant unless you're like into their music and stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
and I think that's the problem is that like from the sense of as a Disney fan going to a Disney park, what seems between the two, which is more relevant, Muppets is more relevant in my mind.
I agree.
Because of everything Disney has been doing to keep it relevant is the thing. Like Disney is keeping it relevant. You're not seeing Aerosmith specials on Disney Plus.
No, exactly. No.
Steve Tyler rambling.
Kind of weird if you would, right? Like that doesn't fit with Disney Plus's thing. All right. You guys want to move on for this or you have anything else for this one?
Yeah.
No.
All right. So we actually talked about this. I don't know, Trevor. Do you remember when we talked about this?
Long time ago.
It was a long time ago where Disney was showing off this animatronic Groot that they built where they were testing it and it was a very impressive free roaming robot. Now this thing is kind of more advanced and they're doing what they call it. Yeah, it is a little scary. They're doing what they call a play test where basically they did a show for cast members, like a fake show that they're just testing out with this free roaming Groot robot that basically dances. And I mean, but it looks really real. It's so fluid and it's freestanding and it's
a little creepy.
It looks like they're paying somebody's child.
Yes.
To be Groot. I don't like that.
I mean, I wouldn't find this off-putting though. I feel like if I saw it in person, I think I'd find it cool. I mean, I don't know. I want to see this. Like it's they're not saying it's going to be for anything, right? So like they're actually saying like they're just testing this out to kind of see what kind of show they would build around it, but they're saying there's no immediate plans for use in Disney theme parks. But they're using it just to kind of test stuff out. So, but I mean, like the little show that they do in this video, I don't know if you guys watch this video, but like, I could see this being like a show, right? Like,
totally.
They could absolutely do this, like a quick show. Yeah.
Yeah. Like how they used to do those stage shows for Star Wars in Hollywood studios, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Go ahead, Becky.
They used to have Star-Lord and Groot. Was it Baby Groot though? Like, obviously not this version, Baby Groot, but there was some meet and greet that had a much more rudimentary, they
had a tall one. They had like an adult one. Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't remember if there was one little one. I get it oddly confused. Yeah. Oddly confused with like the BB-8 meet and greet. It seemed like all that stuff was out at once and they were all like really cool, weird new meet and greets that weren't necessarily people, and it all rolled into one, and now nothing happens in that whole area of the park. And can't keep track. But yeah, I watched this. It was creepy. I almost feel like the Star-Lord interaction made it a little bit more awkward.
You think so?
But I don't know. It just was bizarre, but it was really neat, like technologically speaking, very cool.
Yeah.
Also weird.
Well, I mean, is it weird just because it's so, I feel like we haven't seen robots like this ever look this realistic, and other than that test that we saw. And I mean, this looks pretty close to the test that we saw, right? But like, I mean, you've just never seen this before, right? Like, so is that just what's making it weird?
Oh, for sure. And I think in person it would be like a different, because you're in the moment and you're in the experience. Just watching it from whatever odd angle they were showing it was like, all right. So it looks cool. It's just hard to, and then seeing the cast members, like, are they dancing because they love it, or that was weird. So maybe I'm being critical.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a little bit awkward in the video. I think the thing that gets me, this is like a childhood nightmare kind of thing.
I was just thinking to myself, though, Trevor, like, we're seeing this through our eyes. How would like a 9-year-old see this? Would they be like psyched, or would they be freaked out?
So here's the thing: is like I remember as a kid riding like pirates and stuff. You see the animatronics, and they're doing their thing, and in the back of my head, at various points, it was like that would be very scary if it got up and like walked towards me, kind of thing, right? Like, it's
pirate though. Groot's adorable,
but it's still that irrational, like this is a and not just the pirates, like anything that's like not human, like it's very clearly a robot, and if it's suddenly like stops doing its thing and turns and looks at you, like
this is Kingdom Keepers is what this is.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Like Kingdom Keepers does touch on this, right? They touch on that, what if things came to life after dark kind of stuff. And so this Groot thing is kind of like it's touching on that, and I think that's why it's disturbing to me. Is it's like he's very cute. They got him dancing and everything, but it feels like his eyes could suddenly turn red, and
you're just thinking of the Simpsons
Order
episode.
66 kicks in, and
you're thinking
right?
of the Simpsons episode where they go to Itchy and Scratchy Land, all the robots. Yeah, okay,
and that's a childhood memory. Yeah, right.
I mean, but look how tiny he is, though. What damage could he really do?
Oh, really?
Okay,
come
listen,
on, Tom. You saw Yoda in Star Wars. Don't
watch him walk onto stage, though. He can't really walk very fast. Okay, like he kind of shuffles a little bit. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, that's
not yet.
Well,
yeah.
Listen,
but I bet on all fours he can probably run really fast.
Oh.
That's terrifying. I'm actually more disturbed by how bad the Peter Quill actor is here. Like how much.
Thank you.
Right, he looks not even close. Like, get somebody better.
Well, gosh. Okay. So here's the wonderful thing about that is that all of that can be explained away with Loki now. Okay,
that's fair. Yeah, he's a variant. He's a variant. Okay.
Yeah, everybody's a variant that doesn't look that great, right?
Nice.
Okay, but I'm looking at this too, though. Like, Guardians does lend itself to a dance party format, right? So like, and obviously one of the main things this thing could do is the dance party, right? Like, as cool as I think it would be to have it free roaming in front of the Guardians of the Galaxy ride at Disneyland, I also know that I'd want to give it a high five, and people would probably go a little too hard and probably knock it over and break it, right? Like,
well, and somebody's kid would think it's a another kid or try to roughhouse with it.
Yeah, hug it and try to take it. Yeah, like people would ruin this very quickly, which is why we can't have nice things, right? But like, I would also want to give Groot a high five. Who doesn't want to give Groot a high five? Like, I think the dance party kind of format, though, like it makes sense. Guardians is all about music. It's all about, this kind of whole thing. And Groot can do these dances. So like, I could see this being a show at Disneyland. It would make sense to me. Like, I mean, I don't know if they're actually going to do it. It seems like they're, just kind of messing around here like they like to do with technology, but
it's very easy to do in California Adventure. There's lots of spaces where they can set up a dance party. So,
I mean, I guess they could do it in front of Cosmic Rewind. I mean, there's a lot of space over there. They could make a little stage and, do a thing, I guess, right? I don't know.
And you mean instead of all the food and wine booths, they could actually
use the space to not make money? What?
No,
crazy.
No. That's impossible. They need to make money, guys. Okay, they got to fund these ridiculous robots. But yeah,
cost $11.
Oh.
Do you want to know how much money they probably poured into? By the way, this is from 2 years ago. We saw the original version of this.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, so they've been working on this for a long time, and we just saw the original walking version of it 2 years ago was when we talked about it originally. So just wanted to throw that out there. I don't know. I think it's cool. I understand your feeling about it. I just think, if you saw it in person, maybe it would be different. Like, maybe it's just seeing it on video. I don't know.
I wouldn't be running up for the high five like you. I guess that's like, I would be like, that's cool, but I wouldn't be like getting within reasonable proximity of it.
Yeah, I would definitely. I'd give it a hug if you let me. Let me. I see the original video to me is creepier without the Groot skin on it, where they just have the robot wandering around Imagineering.
Yeah.
Like,
see that's okay to me because it's just a pair of legs walking around. In that,
it's supposed to be a robot, not Groot.
Yeah. That's the thing is, if I know it's a robot, that's fine. If it's when it's trying to pose as something else, that. I don't know that
when it's the small world dolls that latch onto your leg. And
you don't know how many of those are like I know they're all animatronics of some sort, but you don't know how many are actually robots. Like, or how many are listening.
What character would you want to see as a free roaming robot that wouldn't creep you out? Because they had the Wall-E one for a while. That was kind of cool. Right? Wall-E's not intimidating.
Bring back Wall-E right now.
Yeah,
bring back Wall-E.
Wall-E was good. I actually did run into Push once. I mean, Push was okay. Because he was.
Can. That's nothing. That's
exactly. It was a garbage can. He couldn't do anything.
Into your soul with red eyes.
I could build Push in my garage. Like,
yeah, I know, but I mean, a character that I would be okay with being like a free roaming audio animatronic. I don't know.
How do you feel about that dinosaur they had free roaming for a little while? I forget what its name was off the top of my head, but they had that dinosaur, like, what did you say?
Oh, yeah, that thing. Yeah, I remember that now. I mean, that was okay because it wasn't free roaming. Like there was a handler for it, right? So
it would be a handler for Groot, though.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Is it because it's on two legs and like it's mimicking a person?
It seems a little more independent is the problem.
Lucky was Lucky the dinosaur. That's what it was.
Yeah.
That was all the way back in 2003, by the way. Like, that's how long they've been messing with this stuff,
That you know of.
Well, they've been doing it since Lincoln, but I mean, like, they've been doing the free roaming, like, less controlled robots. If you watch Imagineering Story, there was one where they were going to build like a full size free roaming dinosaur. Like they literally like, besides this, different than this, like, I think it was like a mastodon they were going to build or something. I forget off the top of my head, but the guy was like, yeah, like, we like to fail at Imagineering. He's like, we're not even really sketching out how this thing's going to work. We're just going to build it and see if it works. He's like, it probably won't, but we're going to try. Like, that would be terrifying, right?
See, lots of bad plans going on with that.
Yeah, like I said, I'm drawing a blank on, like, I guess I just don't want to have anything to do with a robot necessarily.
I would be more creeped out if it was like a human, right? Like, so if they made like a full size, like free roaming Woody, like I'd be freaked out by that. Like I wouldn't like that, right? Like that wouldn't be cool. But it's Groot. No.
No, I guess the thing is I also my kid went through a phase with Five Nights at Freddy's, which yeah. So
Trevor, I just
does that phase end? Can I look forward to that? My oldest is older than yours, so if we ever get past it, let me know.
I mean, mine's gone into different things, and we're not going to talk about any of that on the podcast because
probably not. Yeah,
I saw an ad for a VR game, Trevor. That was it was a Stranger Things one with the recent season with Vecna in it, and I'm like, no, thanks, I'm good. I'm good. I don't want to do that.
I'm okay with stuff like that. It's like I said, I think there's something inherently about like that, like the audio animatronics coming to life, like that is a scary concept to me because as a kid, I spent too much time in like Chuck E. Cheese and stuff, and those animatronics were not Disney level for sure. I mean, they had their moments, but then Disney being like, "Hey, these ones walk on their own." Okay.
I mean, would you be okay with like the droids that they were planning for Galaxy's Edge? Is that okay? Like because I guess because they as long as they're very clearly they're very clearly droids, right? Like and they don't move like a human. Like the thing about Groot is, like I said, the first thing is like that looks like somebody in a suit, and that's disturbing to me. I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
Trevor needs more robot-y robots, not
If you're gonna be a robot. Don't try to pretend you're human. Like,
well, and I mean, really, like I think Groot is actually described in the movie as like a humanoid tree, right? Like it's Yeah, so it's like a mix between a human and a tree, right? So it's like, I get that, but still, if they made like a full version of Groot, like adult Groot from the first movie, no, I'm out on that. Baby Groot, though, is fine. Baby Groot's like adorable, like adult Groot, kind of scary, right? I don't know. All right, let's move on from this.
We could talk more about our personal fears of robots for a long time, I'm sure.
Let's have AI control them too. What?
Ooh, no.
We're gonna start doing this podcast.
I was gonna just say that.
The weeks that we're off, we're just gonna have AI voices just do the podcast for us. I'm gonna have AI rate the show, and then we're just gonna do AI voices. I've already trained an AI model with all of our voices. I can Trevor say things.
Put the rundown in the chat GPT, see what happens.
Yeah, Trevor's not even talking right now. This is his AI voice that I've inserted in later.
I'm actually I'm off getting lunch right now, so
yeah, exactly. You're just taking a break.
That's where Damon is all the time.
That's where. I mean, listen, we could probably get AI Damon to do more of the show than real Damon. So we'll just have it analyze everything Damon said his entire show. And I'm sure they could pick it up.
I'm scared to see what happened if we actually ran some of our transcripts through ChatGPT. Like that could actually,
we could do it. We could do it. We have the transcripts.
Okay, let's move on. Anyway.
All right. So there's a new Pixar show that's coming to Disneyland Paris that's going to have Toy Story, Monsters Inc., and Finding Nemo. And from what I'm seeing here, it feels like they took the Finding Nemo show from Animal Kingdom and there's like, all right, let's also throw in Monsters Inc. and Toy Story. Like, just because I mean, the Finding Nemo part looks almost exactly the same. Like, just look at that pain. It just
don't fix what ain't broken.
I mean, listen, I like the new show. I like the redone show that they did. I thought it was different and interesting. And but they're saying it's going to be a multi-layered sensory experience with water effects, creative lighting, contemporary choreography, whatever that means, iconic live music, and more. Becky, are you taking Damon's spot here by making background noise? What are you doing?
I just realized that. I'm like, I'm folding a piece of paper. What am I thinking?
That's all right. We need someone to create background noise on the show since Damon's not here. So,
sip my coffee very loudly.
Okay, no, you can do that. Gosh. You can do that too. Just give me a hard time, Becky. But that's why we have Becky on, because we can give her a hard time. So, So it looks like too, though, that they're going to have portions of this that's also, obviously Toy Story and also Monsters Inc. Which, like that, fine, okay, I'd be okay with this, I guess. It also looks like they have like floating characters like they do in the Lion King show. It looks like they have those people that are on wires that are doing the right. Am I seeing this
type stuff?
Yeah. That's kind of cool.
I think. I know you say it looks like they're taking, Finding Nemo and slapping a bunch of other stuff together. I don't think that's a bad thing.
No, I don't think so either.
From a parent standpoint,
I agree.
if I was going to take my kid, so the thing about Pixar is, there's a lot of different Pixar shows, and this kind of makes it a one-stop shop. Like, if your kid is like really into Pixar, it's like, you don't have to be like, oh, but I want to see the Monsters Inc. show. And then I want to see the Lightning McQueen show. And it's like, go see the Pixar show. They get their fix. And then you can, move on with your day. Right. Like,
to your point, Trevor, right before I came on the show, and I'm not joking, literally right before we started recording, I just bought tickets to Disney on Ice, which is kind of a similar deal, right? Like, it's Frozen, it's Encanto, it's Moana. It's my one-stop shop for all my daughter's favorite Disney stuff, which are literally those three things: Frozen, Moana, Encanto. Her three favorite things, and I'm gonna hit them all out, at once with Disney on Ice. So yeah, I literally just bought tickets for that. It's perfect. Yeah, no, so I agree with you. I agree.
Yeah.
The one thing that struck me on this Pixar show is reading the description of, it says Charlie, passionate about music and his dreams of doing this. And then when he falls asleep, the background of it reads very, very much like the Disney Cruise Line shows. You guys both haven't done those, but this is very, and those theatrical productions on board are simply breathtaking. Like, It's so seamless. It's so well done. I went on a cruise with my friend who's a cast member, and she's in entertainment. And so I've seen that show before, but then seeing it with her was like a whole different thing. And she was even like crying. And there's so much more than just the surface level of you're sitting and watching this quick show, that if this ends up being how it's playing in my head based on the description, it's going to be amazing. So
I don't disagree with you. I think this could be great. I'm sure I'll end up watching it on YouTube.
So.
That's how I ended up buying Disney on Ice tickets, because my daughter was like, I want Disney. She goes, I want the ice skating with Disney. And I was like, okay, Disney on Ice. Like, she likes to watch the YouTube videos of it sometimes. So I was saying to my wife, I was like, I'm sure it's coming near us sometime soon, because it always is. Right? Like,
it never stops.
It never stops, right? There's always a Disney on Ice show somewhere. Right. So I was like, all right, let me look. And sure enough, in a couple months, they'll be here. So I was like, all right, let's do it. Since she loves watching the YouTube videos. But then I saw Ticketmaster, and I'm like, oh boy, I'm going to get killed with fees on this one. But I mean, what can you do? But yeah, no, I think this is going to be really good. I would, maybe they'll do something like this in the States at some point. But who knows? I don't know. Let's move on, because we're like running out of time here.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we are.
I want to talk about Indiana Jones merch. We talked about a little bit of it last week, but this first shirt that's on this page, my God, like
it is fantastic. I love it.
It is a lot.
It's beautiful.
You're gonna buy this and wear it around the parks, Trevor?
Yeah, actually, I would totally wear this. Yeah.
So how do I describe this shirt? This is a button down the shirt that has
it's like a Hawaiian shirt with Indy on it,
with a bunch of painted scenes, all action scenes, right? Like Indy using his whip, and you got the snakes, the boulder, you got the snakes. You got all the famous scenes in there. I mean, what a shirt!
There's repeating sections.
Yes, repeating sections. Yeah. Yep. Oh man, what a pattern that is.
I think you got to be careful on placement. That's all I think is just, pick the exact shirt you want. No blind ordering.
That is a fair point, Becky, right? You got to be careful about where the pattern ends up, right? Okay. That's a good point.
It's a shirt, but still.
Anyone else bothered by whatever this action figure is? I feel like it doesn't look like him at all. Yeah, no, the
one of him holding the idol. Yeah.
It doesn't look like him at all. It looks like Mark Wahlberg.
I was going to say it actually looks like the stunt show Indy.
Oh yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I can see it.
It's not Harrison Ford. It's like the stunt show Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they were going for. Maybe that was the intent with it.
Maybe I don't know.
Now I will say, okay,
the satchel.
No, well, I'll get to the satchel in a minute, but the Temple of Doom shirt.
It's pretty cool.
I actually do. I really do want that. Like that is a cool shirt, and because Temple of Doom is actually my favorite indie movie.
Oh, okay.
Like it's like I know a lot of people go for like Raiders or Last Crusade or whatever. Yeah. Temple of Doom was like it was in like it was in my childhood, and it was, you know, it's a pretty intense movie. Like there's definitely some interesting spots in it that, you know, are not necessarily kid friendly, but it's always stuck in my mind as like when people say indie, I immediately go to that one.
Yeah.
Like it's So yeah, I would do that. And then that bag, I'm wondering if I could use, depending on how big it is, I could actually potentially use it as a laptop bag.
That's a pretty cool bag.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if you're
10-inch tablet. Can hold a 10-inch tablet. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I can get my laptop in
Maybe I'll be able to get it in there. Yeah. I want to know this wall decor, though. Who's putting this on their walls and where? Like, that's all I want to know.
the temple trap wall decor. I mean, if you got a room for it, like,
I mean, I guess if you have like a Disney room, like, and you want to like, I mean, it just feels like, I don't know, man. I don't know where I would put this. Like, it says it's large too. It's a large wall decor.
Look at the person holding it. Like it's big.
It's also $375. I want to point that out. I clicked on it. It is $375. That's a lot of money. Is it made of actual ancient stone? It's 5 pounds of polyurethane resin and then hand painted with realistic stone accents and aging. Okay, and fake moss too, apparently. Okay, great. $375.
In that case.
Yeah.
If I'm spending that kind of money, I've legitimately looked into getting the tikis from the tiki room, because somebody's actually made like moving like the wall tikis. I would not pay for, but then also there's the issue of where would I put this?
Yeah, that's the point.
I would figure out somewhere, but the problem with this too is it's so big. Like you couldn't just buy one and like put it on a wall. It feels like something where you'd have to have it as like bookends or like
focal
part of
point
a set.
of something.
Yeah. Right? Like it's, I mean, that's crazy.
It's a 15-inch square is what this is saying. So that's the size of it. And it's 6 inches deep. So I think I'm going to put this in the guest bathroom, just right across from the toilet. So when you're in there, you're just staring at that.
At eye level.
Yeah, eye level. Just staring at that while you use the bathroom. I think that's the appropriate place for a $375 fake rock piece that you put on your wall.
Totally.
With moss.
With moss. Yeah, don't forget the authentic, realistic moss that they put on there. Okay, guys?
Yeah. I will say, going a little further down, there is, so these they've got more button-up shirts here. I like these ones that look very like weathered, or like the edges are frayed and everything. I like, that's a very cool design.
I agree. I feel like the one in the middle there is something you would see was John Lasseter wearing. Like that's a very John Lasseter shirt, right? Not to bring up somebody, you know.
I'm talking about further down.
I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking for even further down than that.
You're talking about the one that's
the expert of the occult.
Okay. Yeah, that one. Okay. That's
a large image on the back.
That is large. I feel like that looks like a tattoo that somebody with poor decisions would put on their back, right? Like someone that makes poor decisions. That's a tattoo that.
Yeah, I would try to pull that off on a Friday at work.
I want to see this.
I mean, I'd probably get told to go home and change, but I would try.
Vest over it, or
no. I would just sit at my desk and work and. You know,
I feel like Trevor's going to be purchasing a lot in this collection. This
maybe,
like, yeah. Then we've got, a little further down. I don't need any more tumblers in my house, but this one's pretty cool, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Is the thing off to the right like an indie play set? Like, is that?
It looks like it. Yeah. Yeah. A costume accessory set. So yeah, it's like a kid's.
So I'm going to give my daughter a fake machete to walk around with. It feels like a poor
whip
idea.
And a machete.
Yeah. Yes. That seemed like a good idea.
Well, okay, but
there's jewels. So
there are jewels.
My son,
my
son has multiple foam swords from when he was a kid.
That's fair.
What's the difference?
That's fair. That's fair. What about
less violent than a lightsaber?
You're not wrong. What about this Indiana Jones tie-dye shirt over here? A little retro kind of feel to it.
Cool, but after everything else that we looked at, it's
not as
pretty basic.
Should have gone further up.
Yeah.
There's some cool stuff in this collection, I have to say. They're doing some neat stuff with this with this collection.
Did you guys read about that Den of Destiny, like the pop-up bar in studios that they
did read about that? Yeah. I did not put it on the rundown though, therefore we cannot talk about it. No, I'm just kidding.
Sorry.
No, you can talk about it. We talk about whatever we want on the show. So, is there something specific you want to talk about it with?
I just thought it was neat that they had a bunch of movie props, like in other areas of Hollywood studios where you go through and kind of just like see things about the films and the props and things without always having to buy something. Of course, I'm sure they sell plenty and they have a few drinks and things that were well themed, but it's like, I hate Disney Springs personally, so I haven't gone to Jock Lindsay's Hangar Bar, and so I don't like shopping. I just don't.
Listen, Becky, I'm the same. I don't like shopping, and therefore I don't really like Disney Springs. I like it for like a couple of the restaurants, but you're totally right. Like I would go there only for the restaurants because I do not like shopping, and I'm not interested in shopping. So.
Yeah, and so seeing like a little tiny snippet of it being brought into the park was kind of exciting to me because I was like, I would go through and look at everything. I may or may not want any of the like 5 drinks they had listed, but I would be intrigued and it would be a cool experience. I like that they're like, this is only a limited time, like a pop-up that may or may not stick around. It's like, you have booze in Hollywood studios. It's another place people can get it. It's probably not going anywhere anytime soon.
Booze always sells. That's what we should learn. So, all right. Well, anything else with the Indiana Jones stuff? I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing the movie. From last I saw, it was getting kind of mixed reviews, but the good ones I saw said it was really good. So I don't know. We'll have to see. But I think it's going to be a big movie.
People just need to reset their expectations that it's an indie movie. It's not going to be like the next Titanic or whatever. Yeah. It's an indie movie. Yeah. Enjoy it as an indie movie.
So is that going to actually get you out to the movies, Trevor? I know it takes you a lot to get out to the movies these days.
I mean, it's definitely on my maybe list, which a lot of things don't even go on the maybe list at this point. Fair. It's still below Haunted Mansion.
I can't wait for that movie to come out, man.
I think it'll depend on the timing of if I have time to go see a movie when it comes out.
Yeah.
So
that's tough. Always tough.
Yeah.
All right, so let's end with some Disneyland stuff really quickly here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what we got here. There was food stuff I had. What happened to the food stuff? Did I miss the food? Did I forget to put it on there? There was a whole food thing.
I don't have time for it anyway. With Pixar stuff, I think. Whatever.
Let's just talk about the Pixar hotel stuff.
You don't seem very thrilled through the tone of your voice here.
So this is formerly Pixar Place Hotel, was formerly Paradise Pier. I did not have a good experience with Paradise Pier, so I'm a little apprehensive. Like I look at it and it's like, oh yeah, I know where that is in like this concept art that they have. Again, it's very nice, showing a lot of different Pixar IPs, and it looks a lot. It looks like they brought it into the current era because Paradise Pier was very, very 90s.
Yeah.
It looks good. I actually like what they did with the pool. They took the pool out and put in a splash pad because that pool, we were there in like March and it was really cold and we did not enjoy that pool very much. And as Canadians, we're used to, everyone else is not in the pool, and we're like, oh, it's fine. But yeah, that was actually very cold. Yeah.
Well, Becky's basically Canadian, so
yeah, you know what's up. So,
Becky knows. Absolutely. She's not far from Canada.
Yeah, it's like I said, the concept art looks very good. It looks very clean, and they're definitely trying to sell that you're going to be there. I like that they're showing like all these families like doing stuff with their kids in the hotel, which is like you're not. Like
you're not doing any of that.
Anybody who's staying at this hotel, and this was my experience, was if you weren't up and out the door like 45 minutes before rope drop, you were stuck in a crowd of people just trying to get out of the hotel to get to Disney.
Stupid elevators.
Yes, and then same thing coming back at the end of the day. It was everybody was just trying to get back to the rooms. Nobody was like hanging out or playing shuffleboard or whatever they're showing here. That people, the hotel is too close to Disney for that.
Yeah,
it's not a resort to be enjoyed, which is what they want it to be. It's really not. It's the cheapest version of the.
It's the cheapest of the 3 hotels.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do have to say I like this family play area they're adding. I'm sorry, Becky. Continue.
No. Go ahead.
No, let's go, please.
I just think like this is the one that's like, but why wouldn't I just stay at the Best Western across the street? They're going to give me breakfast, and because I have stayed at this hotel, and I feel the same way as Trevor. Like it looks awesome. Like these changes could be great, but I also agree. Like you're not spending that extra time there because you are not needing it. It's not the reason you stay there.
So,
yeah, that's fair.
You stay there to get in the parks early and to walk. That's it.
Yeah, but like I said, I agree that the improvements to it was definitely long overdue, because I mean you and I both know it was so horribly stuck in the 90s for a long time.
Well, look, I was saying that I like they're adding a family play court which has like a bunch of different games you can play, which I think is cool. I like that idea of having that there. They're also adding a new restaurant called Great Maple, which is a Southern California-based modern American eatery. I'm just reading buttermilk fried chicken and maple bacon donuts, and I want to eat that. That sounds great.
Have you had maple bacon donuts before?
I have. They're delicious. Yeah.
They are a staple up here for any place that does good donuts.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Also, they say
popular up here. Yeah.
Soda pop braised baby back ribs. Again, you've got me. I'm in.
What kind of soda pop though? Because I mean,
the good question. It's a good question.
If it's Dr. Pepper, I might be in. But
I mean, maybe it is Dr. Pepper. You don't know.
They bridged the gap or made it totally Southern by saying soda pop versus soda or pop or
pop.
Coke.
Yeah, they're not making that delineation.
Right. Yeah.
I think we should kind of end it here, right? Like maybe we can talk about one more of these items, but I think we're like at time, right? So
yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of good conversations, I think.
Yeah, I mean, there's one more thing here, just like they're doing all the Halloween stuff at Disneyland again. Okay, cool. They're bringing back, they bring it back all the Coco stuff they did. They're doing all the same stuff they do with what do you call it? Nightmare Before Christmas that some people like and some people don't. And I mean,
it's that time of half the year.
Yeah.
They're starting it in May this year.
Yeah.
So
Halloween is now
June.
year round except for December. Like Halloween begins on January 1st, ends on November 1st. Yeah. Then Christmas begins, and then Christmas goes from November 1st to December 31st. So yeah, Halloween is just all year. But they're bringing all that stuff back and all the Halloween fun stuff. So there we go. And then they have a summer ticket offer, which they also have a summer ticket offer too for Disney World. I think Disney is seeing some. I mean, Josh Yamar said this the other day that they're seeing some moderating of the crowds because the 50th anniversary ended. So of course you're going to have less people, right? So,
on that note, for everybody else, because I sent this to Tom, was there was a site that actually tracks theme park data year over year.
Do that too,
I just happened to see somebody had on Reddit actually had posted that it was like last week, and it was that for that particular day of the year, park attendance was down 20% from last year, which
wow. Okay. Yeah.
to now people will go, oh, you know, that's bad. No, actually, that's good, because that means that people are kind of over the whole revenge travel thing and things are getting back to more normal,
Somewhat
which,
normal.
which, for anyone that's planning a trip to Disney, it doesn't mean that the park will be dead, but it means things are hitting kind of what it was pre-pandemic. So
it's interesting though, because
it's interesting data to look at, right?
I saw somebody in the group though say that Memorial Day wasn't busy, but the 2 days before it were like mobbed, right? Like it seems like a lot of people were there Saturday and Sunday, and then traveled Monday, or I don't know. Who knows why that happened? But I feel like every year you see like this, like a post from one of the blogs. It's like, oh, this holiday, it's dead today for some reason, right? Like, and it's just okay. I mean, it just, things happen, people change their plans. I mean, who knows what's going on, right? Like,
but then it's a blurred picture of Dino Land, so you don't really know when that's from.
I mean,
it
could be from any time, really.
I can take pictures from 10 years ago and say, look at how quiet it was.
I'm so tired of these Disney blogs. That's a different show. Can I do a whole wait list on how I hate all the Disney blogs? All of them have become trash. Anyway. Oh my gosh, I know.
I'll join you on that if you'd like.
All right.
I mean, listen, we should start our own. That seems like a lot of work. Let's not do that.
This isn't a wait list. This is like Tom's beef.
Can I do can we start a new segment called Tom Rants About Something for a minute? That's a bad name of a segment, but we'll come up with something. But anyway,
we'll workshop it.
Yeah, we'll workshop that. Go ahead, Trevor.
Watch, ready, go.
So before Trevor wraps this up, Becky, thanks so much for joining us.
Yes,
you're awesome.
Thank you so much for asking me. So fun. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have anything
and
you want to plug?
Before you go, do you have anything to plug, or that, because you do your own podcast, so let people know what's going on?
Yeah. So we drop on our YouTube channel, which is Not Club 33. We drop 4 p.m. Magic Kingdom time on Fridays, and it's like between 15 and 20-ish minutes of random 4 people kind of
show. You do 20 minutes? How is that? I didn't even know that was allowed. I thought
our first ones were ridiculously long. We're like, we can't do. Nobody's watching this, so So we'll do a few. Try to do kind of topic based, but I will say sometimes it's a little wild because we'll go and we'll record 3 different things in one night. And then like the next week, you guys will have recorded 2. I'm like, oh my gosh, we just talked about this, but it doesn't release for like 2 weeks. I don't think our crossover is really that big. I can name like 2 people that listen. So, but if I will mention, it's not as family friendly as this one. There are curse words. So,
oh my goodness.
I know.
It's here too. They're just secret. You can't hear
my Disney ears.
Yeah. Right. So we're very clear. It's not a family show, but it is, it's real opinions, and we usually have a great time. So, but it's called Not Club, Not Club 33. And I have written some articles and stuff too, with military pricing and different tips that I've come across and don't relate to the 3 guys that I am on the show with. So yeah, that's really all.
Perfect.
Thank you. Yeah, I really enjoy hanging with you guys. So thank you so much.
We enjoy having you, Becky. So
yes, thank you.
So Trevor, you want to wrap us up here?
Of course. So as usual, if you guys want to reach us, you can always find us at welcomehomepodcast@gmail.com. We love getting your questions, people just sharing their trip reports, all that kind of stuff. So, if you ever want to get a hold of us, just fire us an email.
Actually, Trevor, to that point, I do have an email I want to read. Can I?
Okay. All right. Then
instead of a review this week, I have an email. So
okay.
Go ahead. So Mike reached out to us and said, and this is titled episode 220. So this is 2 episodes ago, right? So, and you'll remember immediately which episode this is when I start reading this. So, hey guys, hope all is well. My name is Mike. I've been a DVC member since 2010. I've listened to all of your episodes since the start of the podcast, which is impressive, by the way. It's amazing to me how many people have listened since the beginning, man. That is a lot of time. But he wanted to chime in on episode 220. First of all, crispy bacon's the best. Not burnt, but crispy. and now and by the way, Becky posted a thing in the Facebook group, and I felt very vindicated on my opinion on this.
I'm here for you.
Thank you, Becky. I appreciate that. He also says now about the best Disney villain, Chernabog is the GOAT, so he agrees with you on that one. He even has a tattoo of him.
Oh, yes.
That's a good tattoo.
My man.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Chernabog's always been my favorite villain, too, and I was so excited to hear that, but now I feel less, unique in my feelings. So I'm happy, yet,
It's not about uniqueness. He's just cool.
It's a cool tattoo, man. Mike, send us a picture of the tattoo if you wouldn't mind. I'd love to see a picture of this tattoo. If you don't mind.
Yeah.
If you don't want to share it, that's cool, too, but I want to see it. Second of all, chewy bacon is nasty and undercooked. Crispy bacon is the best. I swear he wrote that. I'm not just saying this. Just joking around, smiley face, to each their own. You all put on a great show. I look forward to listening to the three of you, hopefully for many more years. Keep up the good work. Sincerely, Mike. It's basically a review. He just sent it an email. So
thank you, Mike.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. And I meant to respond to you, but I've been out 2 weeks. So this is my response to you instead of replying to the email. Anyway, continue.
All right. So, obviously you can reach us at Gmail. But if you want to get us on social media, you can find us on Facebook as Welcome Home Podcast. Same thing on YouTube. If you have Instagram, you can find us as Welcome Home Pics. And if you're looking for a fun Facebook group to join, make sure you look for Welcome Home Disney Waitlist. That is our Facebook group, which has lots of great people in it, like Becky, that, post all kinds of fun stuff. And there's always good conversations in there, and people that, know stuff about DVC and, just have good talks about it. So if you're looking for a nice, positive Facebook group, check us out. And if you'd like to help support the show, go to store.welcomehomepodcast.com and check out our different merchandise. We got some great things like T-shirts and mugs and stuff like that. No hats. Hats are only if you can find us. Actually, we need to get another order of hats.
Yeah, we need more hats. We haven't had hats for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll stay tuned for more hats. No hats at the moment, but yeah. So, but if the store is not your speed, or if you'd rather support us a different way, we have Patreon. So you can go to patreon.com/welcomehomepod and check out our different levels of support there. Anyone who supports us through Patreon also gets access to the Discord group, which if that is your thing, Discord, we have similar conversations to what we have on the Facebook group, but obviously it's a little more intimate. And, sometimes our Discord listeners will get, they get the rundowns of the episodes and stuff like that. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, please check us out.
Sometimes we throw out topics on there too for the show.
Yeah, yeah. We'll kind of start things in there, and then sometimes it turns into something on the show. So
like the Muppets thing. The Muppets thing was on Discord first. So
yeah, exactly. And last but not least, if you guys are listening to us on iTunes or Spotify, please leave us a 5-star review because it helps more people find the show, which is always good. And on iTunes, you can actually write us a review, and sometimes we do read those out on the show here because we love hearing your guys' feedback. Yeah. Do you have any new ones this week? Or?
No, we don't have any new ones. Mike was my only. It was a review, but not a review. So, but no new ones this week. So please, get us some reviews. We'd love to have those. So, yeah. And of course, also don't forget to subscribe to Welcome Home Podcast, so you'll be reminded every time we release a new episode. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify, just about any podcast app out there. You can find us. And of course, just a reminder to our listeners, as always, Welcome Home Podcast is for entertainment only. We are not employed by the Walt Disney Company. As such, all the opinions we express on the show are our own. So please consult a Disney cast member or DVC cast member for more information about anything we talked about today. Huge thank you to our sponsor, DVC Resale Market and World of DVC, for continuing to support the show and being, great sponsors and great friends to us over the years. They are probably our biggest supporters of anybody. So please check them out for any of your DVC needs. Join us next time for more Disney Parks discussion. Of course, more DVC talk. Thanks again to Becky for coming on today, and we hope to see you all real soon.
This is Skipper Albert Awol, the voice of the jungle, signing off from Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Do a huddle when we hit a chair. How she can cuddle is no